Hello, everyone. My name is Woojin Choi, and I'm glad to meet you to make a presentation of the paper about the short selling, which is a hottest issue in this financial market. Actually, the title of this paper is Can Shorts Predict Returns, just future stock returns, which is written by 5 co-authors. You see that the picture of co-authors, left 2 co-authors is the Bomer and Hutcher are Europeans. Right 3 persons, which is women professor, are from Tsinghua University and Central University in Beijing. And this paper has been published in May of this year in the Review of Financial Studies. As you may know, where short selling has attracted significant interest in the financial market. And short selling is that the selling stock that the seller doesn't own. So when market price for short seller buys stock at lower price and return stock, so short seller they obtain their gain. But actually, short selling has both benefits and costs. The benefits is that the short selling is the main benefits is a restore balance in financial market. For the detailed short selling could prevent price bubbles, provide the liquidity of stocks, and contribute to the stabilizing stock price. But the cost is as someone just called or argued that the short selling is that the just predator to destroy a balance in the financial market. So it could cause stock price to fall or could be abused for market manipulation. So the key questions of this paper is what factors affects the cost and benefits of short selling, and what factor affects the predictive future returns of short selling. The authors have conducted comprehensive analysis of short selling in 38 countries for about 9 years, 2006 to 2014. And they have conducted comprehensive analysis with respect to 2 shorting methods. One is shorting measures, just ratios, and second is a shorting environment, such as regulation, fees, liquidity, and etc. So the main findings or key findings of this paper is that like this: high volume of short selling predicts future negative returns. That means short selling accelerates price discovery. This just price discovery by facilitating that the incorporation of negative information into stock prices. And the authors have pointed 2 things. One is shorting measures, shorting ratios have the predictive power for future stock returns. Especially 2 shorting measures, days to cover ratio and utilization ratio, have the most robust power. And second, they found significant stochastically significant cross-country and cross-firm variation in the predictive power. For the detail, the predictive power of short selling or short is stronger in countries with shorting regulations or shorting proper regulations, and for or in company stocks with high shorting fees or low liquidity and low price efficiency. So what I liked about this paper is 2 things. One is the authors have conducted and performed comprehensive analysis of short selling across 38 countries from 2006 to 2014. 38 countries also include Korea, Japan, China, and United States, and major countries in the global market. I think this is very huge and vast amount of work, which requires accuracy, patience, and huge volume of data. But they performed in-depth examination of cross-country and cross-firm variation. A kind of I respect and I praise of their patience and their huge amount of work. And they performed precise and accurate, comprehensive examination for the short selling for the across the 38 countries. And second, and actually to add one more thing, I remember that the mention of our Professor Andy Kim mentioned in his lecture that the Tsinghua University professor is a kind of super genius, and the author of this paper is from the Tsinghua University or something like that. Maybe there's a super genius and they were patient and they were very sincere person, I guess. And second, they materialize or realize a good idea of that they are first to document that most shorting measures predict returns in the global market. And they found that the predictive power of short selling is dependent on regulations, cost, and liquidity. And they suggest that the proper regulation, shorting regulation or cost is needed to enhance the price efficiency or market efficiency. But what I dislike about this paper is divided two parts. One theory part, second empirical part. To talk about theory part, one is side effect and second is short selling ban. That is there's no appropriate or just proper mention of pros and cons of short selling, especially side effects, because short selling could be abused to pursue unfair profits through price manipulation or use of undisclosed information. That could distort the future returns. So, and second, although shorting environments such as regulation, fee, efficiency were mentioned, it would be much better to deal with the effect of shorting ban due to external factors such as global financial crisis. Actually, shorting ban is inevitable. So my suggestion is further research is needed on the factors of returns due to the side effect of shorting, because price manipulation or use of undisclosed information could distort future returns. Second, it's necessary to compare predictive power of future stock returns between the ban period and permitted period of shorting selling. The last part, what I disliked about this paper is the empirical part wise, there's two things: reverse causality and needs analysis by investor. Reverse causality means the basis of this paper is short selling predicts stock future returns, but vice versa, or in the contrary, negative prediction of future returns may accelerate short selling. So X variable short selling, Y variable future returns, but vice versa, stock future returns may accelerate short selling. And second, individuals have more restrictions on short selling than institutional investors and foreigners. So there could be difference in stock returns among investors. So my suggestion is it would be much better to remove reverse causality or remove simultaneity by using instrumental variables or something like that. So we need to resolve endogeneity problems. And second, it's necessary to analyze the difference in future stock returns by investors, such as individuals or institutional investors and foreigners. Okay, this is end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.